The movie starts with a car speeding down a road, headed straight toward a large mansion. It eventually comes to a stop, and Gru steps out of the car. He's got a smaller car with him too, carrying 3 of his favorite minions. Inside that mansion, a college reunion is happening, the very place where Gru first began his life as a villain. But Gru has changed a lot since those days. He's not a villain anymore. At the party, Gru runs into his old rival Maxime, and the grudge between them is still very much alive. Gru tells Maxime, "I'm the better villain because I'm the one who stole the moon." Maxime just laughs at him, mocking him and saying that Gru isn't a real villain at all anymore. Then, the college principal steps onto the stage to make an announcement. She's there to present the Best Villain Award. The award goes to Maxime, who walks up to the podium and starts his acceptance speech. He tells everyone about his big new project, a machine that can turn anyone into a cockroach. And then, in a shocking moment, Maxime removes his human costume to reveal that he's actually become part cockroach himself. Gru immediately jumps into action, attacking him and calling for the Anti-Villain League, the organization he works for now to catch the bad guys. The AVL agents arrive and manage to capture Maxime, but he struggles, trying to fight back and attack Gru. Before he can do any real damage, the agents finally secure him. Maxime is absolutely furious, shouting threats that he'll escape soon and vowing that he will never ever leave Gru alone. After that tense scene, we see Gru back at home with his 3 little adopted daughters. He greets them warmly as soon as he walks through the door. Then his wife Lucy comes out carrying their baby boy. We learn they have a new son named Gru Jr. You can tell how much Gru loves his boy. He calls for the minions, and they quickly jump in to help change the baby's diaper. They get it done in a flash. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. It's the head of the Anti-Villain League. He shows Gru some security footage of Maxime in his cell, screaming that he's coming for him. Gru thinks, "He's in a high-security jail. He can't get out." But it turns out Maxime has already escaped. The AVL decides they have to move Gru and his family to a secret location where no one can find them. The whole family starts packing. The girls are so sad, they really don't want to leave their home. AVL agents escort the family to their new place, while the minions travel on a separate bus, annoying the driver the entire trip. When they arrive, they see it's the tiniest house in the whole neighborhood. The family isn't happy about it, but they have no choice. The minions act silly, though, and it finally makes everyone laugh. An officer tells Gru that for their safety, they all need new identities and new names. Gru and Lucy pick their names, but the daughters hate the names they're given. Lucy gently explains that it could have been much worse, so they really need to accept it. Then, the officer tells Gru he has to take the minions away for special training, so they'll be ready if Maxime attacks again. He takes them away, and it's a tough goodbye. The next day, the family tries to adjust. Gru and Lucy get temporary jobs, Gru as a solar panel salesman and Lucy at a hair salon. Gru drops the girls off at their new school, where he awkwardly says hello to a neighbor. Meanwhile, at the AVL, 5 minions are chosen to be part of an experiment. They're placed in machines to be injected with a powerful serum to turn them into mega minions. Back at the salon, Lucy is trying her best to help customers, but she has no idea what she's doing. Everything goes wrong, the salon is a total mess, and she quickly leaves to pick up the girls. She really hopes they're making friends, but when she sees them, it's clear they aren't happy. Gru tells them, "We just need to get through this." Later that night, Gru is taking out the trash when he runs into his neighbor, Poppy. She drops a bombshell. She knows all about his past as a villain. She tells him that if he doesn't help her, she'll expose his true identity. Gru is so worried. Meanwhile, Maxime is out there, free and focused on only one thing: revenge. Back at the lab, the 5 mega minions emerge from the machines, each with a different superpower. One has laser vision, but he can't control it at all. He accidentally blasts a satellite out of the sky. The director tells them they can be heroes if they learn to control their powers, but he's clearly worried about giving such huge abilities to these silly guys. Maxime is in his flying car with his girlfriend, tracking Gru down. On the way, he complains about a singing competition he lost to Gru when they were kids, even though he thinks he was better. His girlfriend suggests maybe Gru actually deserved to win, which makes Maxime furious. They stop at a gas station because they're low on fuel, but Maxime struggles with the pump. When the owner doesn't answer his question, Maxime loses his temper and uses his machine to turn the poor guy into a tiny cockroach. Poppy tells Gru to meet her, and he goes over. She admits she wants to be a supervillain and needs him to help her break into his old villain school. To get in, she has to impress the principal. Gru is so annoyed, but he knows she's serious. He tries to warn her about the impossible security, but she won't listen. Realizing he has to protect his family's secret, he finally agrees to help. They head to the school in a hot air balloon. At the same time, the Mega Minions are failing at their training. One, who has super elasticity, tries to save a runaway train, but he makes a mistake. His body acts like a rubber band, and the train snaps back and crashes into a building. The people are so mad, and the poor minions have to run away. The AVL officer tells them, no more powers unless you're asked to help. Elsewhere, Gru and Poppy reach the villain school. It's a tough break-in, but they manage to get inside. As they start opening a gate, Gru stops Poppy, warning her about the lasers. He uses a special powder to reveal the dangerous red beams. If they touch them, the alarm goes off. Gru had brought his baby Gru Jr. along, and while they're focused, the baby crawls right under the lasers and into the office just to have fun. Gru is terrified, watching his son wander around alone. The baby finds a control board and starts hitting the buttons, turning the lasers on and off. Finally, the baby gets tired and the team makes it in. They find the principal's pet honey badger. Gru tries to tranquilize it, but he accidentally hits himself and passes out. An alarm starts blaring, waking up the principal. The badger starts chasing the baby, and the sleepy Gru tries to move. Eventually, the principal arrives, but Gru manages to grab his son and escape with Poppy. They even steal the honey badger on the way out. Poppy is so thankful, but the principal knows exactly who is there and calls Maxime to tell him where they're hiding. The next day, Gru is out with neighbors, and Maxime finally shows up at the house. The AVL director realizes they're in danger and tells the Mega Minions it's time to work. Maxime confronts the children, and when Gru realizes something is wrong, he rushes home. Maxime tells him to give up, and a huge fight starts. During the chaos, Gru Jr. runs outside, and Maxime kidnaps him. When Gru sees his son is gone, he chases after them. Poppy helps him out, dropping Gru onto Maxime's flying car. When Gru lands on it, he blocks Maxime's view, and the car crashes into a structure. Gru is horrified to see that Maxime has used his machine to turn Gru Jr. into a cockroach hybrid, just like him. They end up fighting on top of a tall building. Gru looks at his son and says, "I love you very much, and I will always be there for you." That love helps the baby break free from Maxime's mind control. The father and son defeat Maxime together. The AVL agents arrive to capture him. Soon, Lucy and the girls arrive, so happy to see that Gru and the baby are safe. Gru hugs his son, and in a beautiful moment, the baby, who had never spoken before, finally says, "Dada!" They are all so happy and head back home. There's still one problem though. The baby is still a cockroach. They visit their scientist friend who manages to fix the transformation, and everything is right in the world again. Later, Gru visits Maxime in prison to try and make peace. They decide to settle their differences with a singing competition right there in the jail. Everyone joins in the song, and that is how the movie ends.